What's good, and welcome back to Hustle House 24/7 365. Today we have episode 22, and I am your host, Cody Stockton, aka Various Layers. And with me, I have my co-host,
Lamar, aka Mr. Creamcap, Lambo, the final funding boss. Let's get it.
And as you guys know, on episode 21, we were doing kind of like an interview style where I'd ask Lamar questions about his journey, like how he came up, things that he's doing right now and moving towards in the future, etc. So this is pretty much part 2 of that. So pretty much what's going to happen is Lamar's going to ask me some questions that he's got set up, and I'm going to answer them and just give you guys, the knowledge that I have based on those questions. So
we are putting Cody Stockton, Various Layers, on the spot in the hot seat today. I got Cody. By the way, Cody has absolutely no idea what I am going to ask him. There was no prep done for this. Honestly, we're just like, hey man, we need to dive a little bit deeper into ourselves, our journeys, and exactly what it is that we do and how we got where we're going, as well as what motivates us to continue to do what it is that we are doing. So I'm going to start this off. Let's jump right into it, Cody.
Yes, sir.
The first question that I have for you, and let me give a little context real quick. A lot of people don't realize that you're a very multi-talented, multifaceted, I don't know if that's a word, multifaceted type of man. You know what I mean? You got a lot of different things that you do, a lot of different skills. So I want to touch on some of the things that some people know about you, but maybe not know your background as far as music and health, entertainment, things like that. So my first question is, what was it that got you so interested in making music? What was your motivation there? And what is it about it that just that you continue, what makes you continue to want to make music? I mean, you're having success in business, you're making money, you're traveling, what is it that drives you to continue to make music?
So first and foremost, just as a side note, I'm going to name these On the Spot Part 1 and 2. Because you said On the Spot, so I just thought about that. I think that'd be a good title.
Okay.
But as far as music, I actually started doing music when I was 8 years old, because I played piano for a brief time, literally 2 years. But I was writing songs on pieces of paper, doing poetry in school. I always had a thing for poetry, and then I started playing the piano. And I had a piano teacher named Miss Petrie. Literally Miss Petrie, it sounds like that. And I'd go over to her house. She had this whole piano studio and everything. It's literally her green room, and it had a piano and a bunch of sheet music and stuff like that. And she would teach me piano. And I got around to doing one recital, which I do have a picture of somewhere in this house, I do believe. But I got around to doing one recital, fucked up when I was doing the recital. So I was playing Beethoven Ode to Joy. Got to the last part without messing up. And then I messed up, and then I was like, shit. I didn't say shit, but I was whatever a kid would say that means shit, at that time. And then everybody was like, keep going, you got it. And I ended up finishing it, whatever. But that's how I got introduced to music, but how I got introduced to rapping and making music how I do now, which if you guys don't know, my name is Various Layers with the Z, and I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, and every place you can find streaming platforms music like that. But I was in high school at 15, and I'm friends with Justin. You know Justin. We all know Justin. And his dad got him a MacBook Pro. One of these audio boxes like this, but a smaller, more compact version. And then this program called GarageBand. Eventually he ended up getting Logic Pro X, which is what we're actually recording on right now, and I use for all my music today. But he knew I was writing music and shit. He was like, yo, you want to rap? And it was Matt Mort, him, and I. And we were all really good friends throughout high school. And he was like, hey man, you write raps? You want to rap? Let's rap. So we just started rapping in GarageBand, getting used to it and stuff like that. And I just enjoyed it a lot, man. Literally, I just enjoy making music and rapping and rhyming and just learning the craft, engineering. Most of the songs you guys listen to by me, as engineered by me and everything. So I learned the editing process, how to do the gain on this stuff and whatnot. And yeah, man, it's just a passion at this point. I didn't even know I was going to be, start rapping or anything. I never was I'm going to be a rapper or nothing. Justin was like, you want to rap? We made a dope-ass song at the time. We thought it was a dope song for one of our first songs. We did get some feedback from some people. They were like, hey, you need to do this, do that. From people this dude named Cody Rogers. I don't know if you ever knew him or whatever, but he was like in a band and he's like told us how to like do gain and EQ and all these things. But yeah, man. And then over the years, Terrell got introduced. He started hanging out with us in high school, and he's like naturally talented. So him and I like clicked really well with music in general, because I'd bring the rap, he'd bring like the singing and melody and stuff like that. But yeah, man. To this day, I just do it because it's just like it's an escape. It's fun. I actually do enjoy it. I like rapping, and it helps me build my brand with what I'm trying to do and everything. So that's pretty much how I got into music. But yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't have like, you weren't like, hey, I'm going to be a rapper, I want to become a rapper. It wasn't necessarily like, I want to blow up and be a pop star, right? It was more just like about, you just enjoy doing it. Like you're artistic, you're expressing your craft through music, you know, from playing. I didn't even know you played piano, bro. That's news to me.
Sure.
I never knew that. So it was just a way of expressing yourself then. And it's kind of like a passion for you even to this day.
Yeah, because I used to draw and do art, and I played the piano. I tried guitar, but it just wasn't my thing. You know, I didn't stick to it long enough, but I didn't have that urge to. But then, like, once we started rapping and I heard my voice over a beat, like, it wasn't the best, obviously, then, but I was like, yo, like, I like this. Like, I was listening to rap music. I was like, I mean, my rhymes, I have flow. I have decent rhymes. I just need to like get better at delivery and like obviously just do it and see what happens. You know, so I didn't do it because I wanted to be a rapper or anything, but we just started doing it all together for fun, and then we ended up actually liking it and like taking it seriously. So
okay. So where does various layers come from? Like how did you come up with your stage name, if you will?
So layers is like pretty much levels. Like there's different layers to everything. Like in anything you do in life, there's layers, there's levels. You gotta level up. Like there's onions have layers, like stuff like that. So Shrek, but not like, so that's where layers came up with. So my first name was literally Layers. And then I put a few songs out as Layers. Like there's still songs on my YouTube channel that are just as Cody Stockton, aka Layers, like Layers. That's what it says. And I was at my buddy's house. You know, we were toking on some green one day, and he was like, so your name's Layers, right? He was like, how about Various Layers? Literally. You know Jehoshaphat Bennett, the black dude, used to run around Roanoke all the time and worked at 7-Eleven?
No, bro.
You know who that is, though, right? He was like at one of the he was in Cave Spring a lot, so like everybody in Cave Spring pretty much knew him. But he was like this older dude who was in the Navy. Like he was in the military and then was retired, and he just smoked weed and ran all the time, bro. He ran everywhere, bro, like 10 miles a day. Like he ran to work and ran back, and he was like, your name's Layers. How about Various Layers? Because there's various layers to everything, you know? So like with layers, it's like I have various layers of like fitness, various layers of music, of who I am, and all these things. So like there's just various layers.
Yeah. I would say definitely fits, like even like listening to your music and knowing considering how long I've known you, there's been like a lot of changes in your style. And obviously that comes with time. Like anytime you're doing something repetitive, you get better, you try new things, you have new experience, new levels, new layers that you're tapping into, right? So I even think it's like it's very fitting for what you do, and especially with your music, and then obviously like your entire, you know, being, you know what I mean? So shifting from various layers, and you talked about, you know, this became kind of more of a something that you were doing more often in high school. I want to shift over to like the health side of you, because you brought up the guy that jogs is jogging all the time, every single day, and it just made me think, if anybody knows Cody and you follow him on social media, on his social platforms, or just are in any of our groups or here in Roanoke, everybody knows Cody likes to run damn near 10 miles a fucking day. That might be less than what he actually runs. But so like what got you into fitness, and like what's got you like what spurned this this I'm not gonna say a need, but what spurned this desire, obsession and desire to be like a physically fit, capable like human being, you know what I mean?
So I was a weak, non-confident individual. Fucking girls didn't look my way. Motherfuckers like I was a loser pretty much. Like, I had friends and I was cool with everybody, but like, I wasn't that guy that got asked to come to the party first. I wasn't the girl who wanted to, I wasn't the guy who the girls were like, come to prom with me or come to homecoming or whatever with me. I was like literally like a weak, feeble dude. So what happened was I used to be a skater. People who know me like since like 2012 know like I skated like at 8, from 8 to like 15 or something. And I used to do like all the ramps over at Wasena. They had this one spine transfer, Woodward, and then they had this other Woodward ramp. So I had a buddy named Jordan Gibson. He was like my best friend, and he was like, Cody, come to the gym. Like, come on, bro. Like, come to the gym. I got a family membership at fucking the Rack, Roanoke Athletic Club, which is now Carillion Wellness. He was like, come to the gym, man. I was like, I don't know if I'm about that gym shit, you know? And one day, after years of skating, I hit this Woodward ramp. Fucking landed with my front foot, my lead foot landed on the board. My back foot didn't happen to. So the board kept going. I split and literally fell, tried to catch myself. And this is, you should not break your wrist from this fall. Like if I fell harder than this today at 200 and some pounds and I didn't even feel it. You know, so like I fell, broke my wrist. It literally like went like that. Like, it was, like, fucked. Like, I had to go to Burger King and, like, tell Chris to call my mom because I didn't have my phone on me and everything. Like, it was fucked. And I ended up breaking my growth plate of my wrist. Very easy. And, like, after that moment, I was like, yo, I'm fucking weak as shit. Like, I fucked this shit. I was in a cast for 8 weeks, and it was my dominant hand. I'm right-handed. So, like, and it was to hear the cast, so I couldn't, like, shower and, like, put my hand out. Like, I had to literally take baths and, like, use my hand for everything, my left hand. And I was like, I'm going to take Jordan up on his offer after this shit. Like, I'm going to start going to the gym. As soon as my fucking wrist healed, I started running as much as I could. I only could run like 0.3 miles without stopping. Like, I was out of breath after 0.3 miles. I used to smoke cigs and shit. But also, like, I was just out of shape. I used to eat junk. But, then I started doing push-ups every day. Literally every single day I had 25-pound dumbbells. I'd do push-ups until I just fucking couldn't do any more push-ups. Probably like an hour of push-ups in this whole circuit I'm about to tell you. So it was a circuit of this: push-ups, bicep curls, these.
Like power press? Yeah.
And then I'd do back rows. And then I'd go on a run for legs and cardio. And I did that for a long-ass time until I was able to like go, because I could go with Jordan to the Rack, but I couldn't go every single day.
You had to go with him.
Yeah. I had to go with him at his time to go for free. But then I ended up working at the Rack, and obviously I worked there. I had a free membership, so I was able to go a shit ton, and that's when I got like really into fitness. But I got into fitness just because I was weak, bro. Like I broke my fucking wrist and couldn't do shit for 8 weeks, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna go get strong. So like that's what got me. And then once I got into the gym, like, I just got obsessed from the confidence it brought me. Like, I started looking better. I was getting more girls and stuff like that. People were paying more attention to me and respecting me more because I carried myself a different way. So, like, without fitness, I wouldn't be where I am today because it taught me confidence and, like, self-belief and just being strong and, like, conquering the goal in front of you. So,
yeah. Pain is the ultimate motivator, or it can be. You know,
for sure.
A lot of people, some people would take a situation like that, and I've seen it. You know, I played sports. I've seen a lot of freak injuries. I was very fortunate to never have to experience anything serious. I've never broken anything in my entire life, and I played multiple sports. So I've always been a big boy, though. So, but like, you can see people can like take that, and that will be their excuse for not getting healthier, not getting in shape, and they're just like, you know, they heal up, and there's like whatever after that point. But you took that and were like, and you decided that you knew that your body was weak, that you weren't strong, that you were frail, and you used that as motivation, amongst other things that you mentioned as well, you know, to get yourself into the gym, to become more fit, to get into a routine, you know. So pain,
structure too, man.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'll put a picture up. Bro, I was like I was skinny, dog.
Please put that picture up.
Like, yeah, I was like just lanky as fuck. I
look like the picture.
I look literally like my buddy Matt Moore. Like, him and I, like, we're both pretty much the same height and like fucking lanky as shit. So now I'm not. So
we're going to put up an after picture.
But it definitely took pain. Like, it took the actual physical pain, and then it took pain of like motherfuckers not respecting me. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna change this shit.
Yeah. And then so I want to shift even to more like, you know, so let's go into adulthood now, post high school. You know, so you're on the fitness journey. You know, you're making music. That's your passion. What got you into, like, when I first met you, bro? I can't remember exactly how old you were. I don't know if you were 18, 19, what age you were, but when I first met you, you weren't like a lot of other people your age.
19.
You're 19?
Yeah. 2016, right?
2015, 2016?
Yes, 18.
No,
19.
it was before.
I met you at parties.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, all right, so let me backtrack. When we first became friends, like when I moved in here with
That was 2016, right?
2015, 2016.
Okay, yeah. 18, 19.
It was a while ago, yeah. But you weren't like a lot of other people your age. Like you had your own place, living on your own. You had your own car, that Honda Civic or that Honda. It wasn't even a Civic.
The Honda Del Sol.
The Del Sol.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's how I knew who you were, bro. I was like, this big ass nigga driving this fucking car.
Gold rims.
Oh man. If anybody knows what a Honda Del Sol is, like it's not a car you expect to see a 6'2", 6'3" guy in. And when I met Cody, that's how tall he was. He's gotten a little taller since, but he was that tall then. But like you had your own place. You had your own car. You're doing your own thing, right? You hit, like, I think, I don't even know how we got connected as far as if you hit me up or if I hit you up when you were looking for a roommate.
Facebook post.
Yeah, I know it was a Facebook post, but I can't remember if I posted needing a roommate or if you posted, like, looking for a roommate. It was something like that. But anyways, we got together, we linked up, and I noticed, like, man, this is a pretty chill dude. Like, you know, I'm older. I'm, like, 3-4 years older than you. I'm like, this guy's independent. He's mature. He does his own thing. He pays his own bills, has his own job. Like, I was impressed. You know, I was like, this is going to work out. You know, so my next question is, like, what got you, I don't know, like, this is kind of a hard, not a hard question to ask, but a complex one. Like, what do you think I guess maybe that you experienced when you were younger, or maybe just, like, in your young adult life that got you to the point where you wanted to, you know, be independent, live kind of like within your own terms, be responsible for your own shit, like your bills and things like that. Like there's not too many people that are 19 living on their own, right? You didn't go to college, or at least not that I'm aware of, but you weren't living at home with your parents either. Like what, I guess, kind of got you, what do you feel like helped you mature to that point where you were okay with, okay, I'm a grown adult. I'm out of high school. Like what, like I'm gonna live on my own, do my own thing. Like what kind of got you there?
So I actually was obsessed with like just being 18. I turned 18 a month before graduation. And I was like, yes, I'm fucking free. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Obviously more responsibility comes with it, but I wanted the responsibility, but it kind of hit me like unforeseen. So I didn't plan on moving out and being independent when I did. Because what happened was, everything good?
I was just seeing how much time we were in.
Okay, gotcha. So what happened was, though, my mom had just got remarried when I was about to graduate, and she ended up moving in with my now stepdad. Super cool dude. They have a great relationship. They've been together since literally before I graduated high school. When I've been out of high school for like since 2015, so it's been a good little. They got a good run going. But anyway, I was letting my other friend who got kicked out of his house until my lease expired, because my lease was my mom's lease was expiring because she moved out, and Chris and I were gonna go. I don't even know. I think go live with somebody. I don't know. But anyway, I got kicked out early, like at 17, before I turned 18, because I had my buddy stay there because he got kicked out of his house. He was going through some shit with his family or whatever. So I let him stay at my house. I was like, bro, like no drugs or nothing. Like we all smoked weed and shit, but like I didn't know he was doing other shit. And one day I wasn't there. I was staying at my buddy Sammy's house, actually. I woke up in Sammy's house and I got a text from my mom. You can't come back to the house, blah, blah, blah. The landlords went to the house to check on everything. And there was coke in the house and people were smoking and all these things. So pretty much the guy I let stay at the house had brought like 3 people over and they were doing cocaine in the house on my fucking dining table and then smoking weed on the back balcony. And one of the guys who was there with him lived in the apartment complex like another building away. So my mom like told the landlord, hey, like, it's like, we apologize. Here's what happened, all these things. And then she was like, pretty much like, you can't live here. Like, you got to find somewhere else to go. So I was couch surfing for like fucking 6 months, bro. I couch surfed at my buddy Sean O'Connor's house. Shout them out. Like, they're dope. They helped me out a lot throughout high school. Like, they fed me, like, gave me a place to stay for free, all these things. Took me to work and shit when I had to, my car was messed up. And then I couch surfed my grandma's house for a few months, and they had my back and everything. But like, I didn't want to like be a burden on them and like sleep on their couch and like fuck with their schedule and stuff. So that's when I was actively seeking a living situation to where I can like pay my own rent and like have my
More
own
permanent.
space. Yeah, exactly. And my best friend Kayla Hall, like her and I were like super tight in high school. She lived here with her brother Zach and then Danielle. and they were the only 3 living here, and somebody had just moved out of the room that I'm actually in to this day. And they were like, "Hey man, like you got a job? Blah blah blah. Like, are you trustworthy?" And Kayla vouched for me, of course, because like we were super cool. And I ended up moving in there within 6 months of being kicked out from Cinnamon Ridge Apartments, which is my mom's old place where I used to live in high school. And then I was like, all right, now I can't, I got to be on point. Like I can't fuck up. Obviously I was still like having fun, drinking a little bit, but like smoking mainly.
Yeah, you're still a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just literally smoking a little, well, I was smoking a good amount, but like I was into fitness and not having anything fucking. My job was good, everything. I was working at the Hilton Garden Inn, I believe, at that point, and then I ended up going to the Sleep Inn, worked a few hotel jobs, and then I ended up getting my like long-term job of being a security guard for the security company, which I think when you moved in here, that's what I was working for.
Yeah, that's what you were doing though.
But I always wanted to be independent, but I didn't know it was gonna happen so fast. But I kind of got forced into a situation to where like I had to like fucking just be on my own type shit.
Mm-hmm.
I did have help along the way, of course. I wasn't completely on my own, but like I had to make some shit happen within X amount of time, or else I don't know what the fuck I was gonna do. So that's pretty much how it all happened, but I'm glad it happened early because it taught me responsibility. And then when that sales thing popped up, I was like in more of a mindset to be able to like take an action or risk like that. So I kind of got forced into it, wanted it. So it's like a test.
So let's talk about that. Like, so what got you into, entrepreneurship and wanting to, either have your own business, kind of make your own way, not have to continue working, bounce around those hotel jobs, working that security job? Like, what was it that kind of took you down this road into entrepreneurship?
Well, I'm sure any entrepreneur will tell you this, or just person in general, like person with a ambitious mind in general. Like you have that thought, like there's more for me. Like you like, there's more than this. Like you wake up with a burning desire, like there has to be something different. Like there's no way I'm going to keep doing this day in and day out. So I had that mindset because I was working a job that I didn't get paid enough for what I was doing and the time I was putting in and the effort I was putting in. And then also I wanted to travel, live somewhere new, have a different experience. Sammy had just moved out to Arizona. My aunt had just moved out to Arizona. And I was like, I'm going to fucking go out to Arizona. I've never traveled anywhere except Myrtle Beach at that point. I was like, I'm going to go out to Arizona. I'm going to go see some places. Like, fuck this shit. And I really got into self-improvement. So I started literally watching Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, fucking anybody you can think of in that self-improvement and business field to get my mind right and see how they think. So I literally like go to bed with my TV on, blasting that shit to literally wire my subconscious at nighttime when I was sleeping. So when I wake up, I can like think differently, which it does do that over time, of course. But I didn't know it'd be like have that much of an effect. So I started getting in that mindset. And then, as you know, I was still putting out music and like doing content and stuff because I wanted to like build a brand of various layers, which was a thing since I started doing music. And I put this one music video out, a reaction video. And my first manager / friend, who I still talk to this day, Blaine, reached out to me on Instagram. And like I was watching all this sales shit. I was watching all this travel shit. I was watching all this Ty Lopez stuff. I was like, there's more to do. Like, there's more out here to do. And there's still more to do to this day, of course. But, like, at that point, I was like, there's more to do, not here. And he was like, hey, man, I like your personality because he watched the video. He was like, you should come sell door-to-door direct TV with us. Like, in Arizona and Washington and all these places. You should come sling direct TV with us. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what's the pay and shit? He was like, it's 100% commission. And if you don't make 8 deals a week that are not chargebacks, then you have to pay rent. And the rent's this much and all this shit. And I was like, I vetted him. I was like, show me info. Like, we FaceTimed, all that shit. Or Skyped, or whatever it was then. And then, I had a good feeling about it, like I trust my intuition for the most part. A lot of my moves I make is based on intuition, obviously logic as well, but like intuition plays a part in that. And I was like, all right, I think this is good. Like I'm gonna do this shit. And, didn't tell nobody except you, Chris, Blake, my dad. That was like pretty much the only people that knew. My mom knew when I was there. Like I told her the day I got there. And I booked a $250 Greyhound bus ticket that was 55 hours. And I stunk so bad I had to throw my shoes away when I got there to go meet. Yeah, bro. It was bad, dude. I was taking showers in sinks at bus stops at 3 a.m. in Oklahoma. and like Nashville and fucking Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all these places.
Were you like the last stop? Like everybody's getting off at
The
all
last,
these stops.
it was the last stop.
You were the last.
It was the last stop. Like we had to change. It was such the last stop. We had to change buses in Phoenix because that bus would not go west anymore.
That's a hell of a story. Like, not if I can interject real quick. You got people online. I even read a story yesterday about this. I won't put the guy out there, but I read a story how this guy. He posted on Facebook, 2 years ago, I drove my car from Ohio down to Fort Lauderdale to take advantage of an opportunity. He had like one of those like old Lexus IS30s. It either was a Lexus IS30 or it was like a Volkswagen Jetta, like one of those old Jetta Golf things. Yeah. I couldn't tell. But he talked about his journey and how he had to go through all this bullshit, like getting down there. He almost got robbed at like a truck stop and all this stuff. And then but anyways, you hear about stories like guys, packing their car and driving to move somewhere, or just, taking their last bit of money and booking a flight, a one-way ticket with just like one bag and trying to start over. You fucking spent your last dollar on a Greyhound bus ticket. And
I was eating fucking gas station food.
Dude, that is, I knew this, of course, because I was living with you at the time. I'm the one that dropped you off at the bus station. But like, it's just you talk about like a from the bottom type of story, not from the bottom, but you get what I'm saying? Like a tough time in your life, or taking a huge chance, one-way bus ticket to freaking all the way across the country. 2,500
miles, not knowing if these people are even real, not knowing if the opportunity
that was the big question.
Not knowing if the opportunity was real, not knowing if they were selling, like if they were actually making deals. And then I had 2 weeks to make deals before I had to start paying rent. I had $700 cash. The only reason I had an extra $200 because Blake's uncle Sean gave me $200 that night before I left, and was like, I appreciate, like, I like what you're doing. He was Army Ranger and shit, because he knows all about like just going after shit or whatever.
Respect. Yeah, much respect.
Yeah, and I appreciate him to that. I appreciate him regardless, but definitely for that to this day. And like I had to eat on that. I had to fucking travel on that, and then I had some bills that was going to take the rest of that if I did not make sales. So I show up there in Yuma, Arizona, and I meet these guys, and everyone's real. The hotel's real. All right, cool. They got free breakfast? Cool. So like I'm good to go as far as that's concerned. And then they take me on the doors the next day. And these guys are dogs, bro. Like, they do solar now, and they're making money, bro. And I still talk to them to this day. Super cool people. I appreciate everything they've done for me, all the business information and advice they've given me and experience. And anyway, the first day I knock 150 doors, right? It's getting dark. It's like 7:30 p.m. We've been knocking since 8 a.m. I sell my last door. My commission was $140. So first day, make $140. Cool. It's real. That's what's going on in my head. But we're still not out the fire, because now I got to figure out how the fuck to do this every single day.
Yeah.
But anyway, what happens is over the course of weeks and months and stuff like that, I'm making my rent. I'm making money. The most money in my bank account at once I've ever seen is in my bank account. And I send it to my mom. I'm like, this is working. And she was like bought in. She was like, all right, good. She's like, I just want to make sure you're good. That's why parents worry.
Yeah.
She just wanted to make sure I was good when I went out there.
And you're still young at the time. Like, you're an adult, but like, you know how it is. Like, even in your early 20s, your parents are kind of still in your shit.
Yeah, for sure. They want to make sure you're all right. They're always worrying and stuff like that. But anyway, I got good. I got good at it, and then it got to the point where I was slinging deals, brought like 8 guys from here out there. Only a few stuck around and actually like sold, but at that point, it's because it's mindset and like willingness to learn and
so they put you in a leadership position.
Yeah, for sure. And I got like my own trucks. I got 2 trucks from them, Denali's, and then I got a housing budget. So we'd go to like Texas. We went to Oregon, Washington, all these places. And pretty much like I just started stacking up money and learning business and learning communication. So if anybody doesn't know, what happens is I go to a random person's door. They have dish or they have cable, and I'm going to convince you, some random guy at your door, to buy this TV within 15 minutes to 45 minutes. When I leave, I'm going to make a commission. You're going to have new TV service. And so just think about that. And then I have to get your social to run credit checks, have to get your debit card information, have to convince you to pay $100 for a processing fee. So it taught me communication and like how to read the room and like how people operate and just business in general. Like it taught me taxes, and it taught me how the guys built the business and all these things. So it gave me like an on point, more focused businessy, serious mindset opposed to just always having fun and stuff, because those guys were on point. They did have their fun, but when it's time to work, it's time to fucking work. You got to get these deals. Everyone's hyped and they're all like hyping each other up. There's no negativity, like, and they tell you how it is. Like, there's no sugarcoating shit. So it taught me a lot, but I did that for about 3 years, three and a half years. And then
yeah. So essentially you went out there to do sales, right?
Yep.
Door-to-door sales. And with sales, you have to learn, like you said, communication. You have to learn, especially if you're doing door-to-door, you're working with a team, you got to know how to work with the team, right? And then you got put in a leadership position, which I imagine if you brought guys out there, you were probably responsible for them and trained them and had to make sure that they were, closing their deals, making sales, etc. So, like, what was, out of all, you explained a lot of things that you learned, but what would you say was like the number one thing that you learned in that experience over 3 years, like that kind of helped? And second part of that, to help you get to like where you are today, like what was it about that experience that stands out the most?
All right, so there's like 3 things.
All right,
but the main thing is
top 3 things:
confidence and sureness.
Okay,
like confidence in your ability and who you are in the product that you're offering, and just why they should buy into you. Because sales is like, for those particular sales, it's not even buying the product. It's like buying into the person.
Yep.
Why should I buy from you? I can easily call DirecTV and get the same deal. Why should I buy from you? Mm-hmm. Random guy at my house. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me how to sell yourself with confidence and sureness. And then also, I mean, let's see. Like just being willing to take the risk and be uncomfortable. Because like, when you're knocking some random person's fucking door, like you have to be like confident and not uncomfortable. You don't want to throw them off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it taught me, like, the main thing is just confidence, man. Like, you got to be confident in you and who you are as a person, and sure, and believe things can happen. Like when they first told me, I was like, there's no way, like you guys are just randomly selling fucking TV packages on your iPhone to strangers like that.
Yeah.
And then I saw them do it and I was like, what the fuck? These dudes are doing 5. Some guy did 16 in a day. The most I did in a day was 11 deals. And I worked from like
$1,000 a day.
Yeah, it was a big day, and like I worked from 8 a.m. to like 7 p.m. that day, and I sold almost every person I talked to. But that's once I got really good, of course. Obviously, I knocked 150 my first day, sold 1. So you get better at it. As long as you stick to it, you're confident and you're sure, and you have the belief that it can happen. A lot of people just lack self-belief, and a lot of people lack confidence.
Would you ever consider going back to do door-to-door sales, like just to learn? It doesn't matter necessarily what you're selling, but like, do you feel like if you were ever in a position like, hey, I just want to go and hustle for a summer and make some money, or maybe I just feel like the itch to like challenge myself again, like, would you ever do it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like, it'd have to make sense with my business and what I got going on, but like if it was a good opportunity and it was paying good, and it was like, for me, it's like getting out of the comfort zone. And it's real. It's like a real tangible thing that you like. It works. Then I'd definitely go do that. Okay. But the guy who started the company, he didn't even know the fuck it worked. Like he sold door to door, but they sold it in a whole different way, and they weren't getting nearly as many deals.
Like they created their own business model out of what they were doing.
From what he learned, he was like, "All right, here's how we're gonna make this better."
Yeah.
And he was a top selling guy, so it makes sense.
Which is usually how it goes. Like a lot of times, like people will come from another company or another model, and they just, they're typically in a position that they can't make changes because it's not within their power to do so. So they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do my own thing and make this better, make this more efficient, make more money, and impact a lot more people as far as, having a team and employees and et cetera like that. So I've noticed like a lot of times people find success that way. They make one thing better than the previous version, and they run with it.
Just like my moving company, bro.
Yep.
Same shit.
So let's talk about that. So let's shift gears. And I know this timeline of how things happen, but talk about like the transition from door-to-door sales, independent contractor, which is what you would consider most people doing door-to-door, unless you are like, a W-2 employee for a company. But talk about the transition from door-to-door sales and to your business that you run and own now. It's like to your business. Like what kind of happened? I know like C19 played a part and stuff. So talk about that a little bit. What brought you back home, and then what made you want to start your own business?
So pretty much what happened was I saved a good amount of money and I learned a good amount of skills. DirecTV was changing up. Like, they changed some shit up to where it's like almost, it's not impossible, but like it's not worth going on the doors for 8 hours for 2 deals for less commission because they changed shit up. As far as like their packaging and stuff, we were selling $35 packages to people who were paying like $80 on through Dish as new customers. So it made sense, you know, but then they raised their shit to $60 for the lowest package when the people on Dish had the third package for $89. So it was a harder sale. Did it make sense? Also the brothers split up and went their own ways and created new companies out of that. So the main guy who hired me still was doing door-to-door sales, but on his own, with some of the guys on the team when they were together. And then his brother went to go do a trucking company because they got ahead of it. They were like, this probably isn't going to work as good as it has been, so we should pivot pretty much. And I went to Los Angeles for like 2.5, 3 months at the end of 2019. Well, it was in July, actually. It was in the summer. And I went there to enjoy some of the money I had, like enjoy Los Angeles, do some shit like in the influencers field, go to certain events and stuff like that, and just pretty much ponder like how I wanted to move forward.
So you took a break, if you will. Like,
it was a good little break.
A reset, if you will.
It was definitely a mental reset and just life reset. And then I flew to Vegas, stayed there for a few days, and then I flew back here. I think I came here. I don't know if I came here, like to this house. I'm not sure if I came here. But anyway, I came back to like Roanoke in general. And I was like, all right, what's next? Because I'm not slinging TV no more. I know money can be made. I've made skills. I have confidence. I've had experience.
And you're not settling for anything less than the money you were making.
So my goal, because when I was doing door-to-door, I was making like $1,500 to $2,000 on average a week, just on average. Some weeks it was like $1,000. Some weeks it was like $4,000. It just depended on the week. It depends on the bonus and incentive structure and shit. But when I got back to Roanoke, I was like, all right, this is Roanoke. Shit's way cheaper here, and it's way less opportunity at the time, even online and stuff. So I was like, I need to make $1,000 a week minimum. So I need to figure out how to make $1,000 a week. But first, I don't want to spend my savings, so I'm just gonna get a normal job. So I worked security again, actually. Well, I hopped around a bunch of different jobs. I was staining decks in the summer, 90 degrees for $12 an hour. Pressure washing for $12 an hour. Worked at the co-op for fucking $10 an hour, slaving away down there. And just did all these little fucking jobs. Worked at First Watch for like 2 days. I was like, this ain't money. Like, I'm wasting my time. I can do more than this. And then I did security for a little bit. But then COVID-19 happened, and it kind of threw off the schedule a little bit. And then we got money from the government, so I went out west again. You know, went out west for like a week and a half, and just traveled and shit to just reset again. And that was in 2020. And then when I got back, I started doing moving services. Shout out Kuzlin. He hired me over at that company I was working for. I learned that business over 6 months. They wanted to make me a manager, but I started at $13 an hour. I was doing the shit I do now all day, every day, moving people's shit for $13 an hour. My checks weren't even fully paid. I was getting they were taking some of my tips, and then the fucking dude who ran the shit was a shit show, had shitty ass employees other than a few guys who actually were willing to work. But I mean, I get it. They were trying to milk the clock because they were getting paid $13 an hour. And then they were like, you want to be our manager and run a lot of operations under Kuzlin for $15 an hour? I was like, nah, I'm good. So I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to go figure out how to get my own clients just in general, not through moving, just in general. So I went to help my buddy Hunter Smith with his landscaping company. I'd go weed eat for $15 an hour. I'd fucking pull brush for him. And he was like, let's get you started. You have skill sets, like figure something out, like work for yourself. That's what he pretty much was pumping into my head every day. And I had done the moving, and through Hunter, I had found some clients. Like I still talk to him to this day, a few clients in this area, right down the street, and then like 2 miles away. And I was like, all right, so I have moving ability. His clients are going to be moving to South Carolina. Hey, I can move you guys to South Carolina. And I was like, this is a low startup company. I can just rent U-Hauls. They can get the insurance. I can be a primary driver. I just charge them what I want for labor. And that's what I did. My first fucking moving job took 8 hours. We moved him from here to South Carolina, about a 5-hour drive. Loading, unloading all together, about 3 hours. Charged him $2,600. And included my 3-day stay at the resort with the hot tub and gym and sauna throughout that.
They paid for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Blake helped me on that job, my very first job. Blake helped. It was about 3 years and a week ago.
I kind of remember.
Yeah, my Snapchat memories popped up the other day. And Blake's first moving job was with me on my first moving job for my own company. And I was like, all right, I can do this shit. So I made a Facebook page, started running ads.
Wait, pause before you go into how you grew it. How much, if you can remember, about like on average or estimate, how much money did you make from that job total? Not what you split with between you and Blake, but like how much did you make from that job in the 8 hours of work that you put in?
The profit?
Yeah, profit.
$1,300.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I made $1,300. Got 3 days
for 8 hours.
Free. Yep, got 3 days for free at a fucking resort at Myrtle Beach, and I was like, remember I said I had to make $1,000 minimum a week when I moved back. That was the first time I made like that money moving back in that day.
Yep.
In one day, I've had $1,000 days, but that was probably one of my biggest days, even despite the moving shit.
Yeah. So from there it was game over. You're like, okay.
I was like, well, I'm in Roanoke and I did this. I did this. Someone didn't give me an opportunity. Like I actively
made this happen.
Yes. Then I was like, all right, so I'm gonna start doing this. And y'all, I mean, everyone knows I like working out and stuff. I don't love moving, but I don't hate it. You know, it's good money. It's good to network with people, and it's like Dave and stuff like that. So I built a fucking Facebook page, fucking for free. You know, Value Providers Moving. Put some videos and pictures of that job, and then started running ads for like $5 a day. Got some clients the first week. Post on Craigslist. Got some clients the first week. Got on Thumbtack. Got clients the first week. And I'm partnered with U-Haul through Moving Helper. Got some jobs the fucking first week. And ever since then, it's just been a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Like now, I did 8 jobs since 2.5 days. In 2.5 days, I've done 8 jobs. And that's nothing, because when it gets summer, like I'm doing like 6, 7 a day sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
talk about, I guess, talk about like the kind of like your experience over the last 2 years. Like, what has you owning your own business, being in control of the money that you make, like setting your own schedule, things like that. Like, what has that done for your overall lifestyle? Because even like when you were out doing door-to-door sales, you still you worked for a company. You were working under a team lead or et cetera, the guys that brought you out there, right? You were having to, be out there all day, knocking doors. Yeah, it was great money, especially if you hustle for it. But talk about what your business now has, what's the difference between what you're doing then and what you're doing now with you having your own business?
First and foremost, controlling my schedule, which I got once I became a boss out there. I could control the schedule, but I obviously like to do shit early so we can get more deals and be off early and shit, or just work longer and make more money, But it taught me I had structure and discipline, but it taught me even more that when you have freedom of your schedule and you can make money, a lot of people may just work a little bit, and a lot of people may try to get as much as they can out the day. For me, I like to get as much as I can out the day. I'll work as much as the fucking jobs happen. So it taught me that I needed to really be disciplined with my goals of how much I wanted to make and when I want to work and my whole structure. And I have to control all the background shit now. I'm the fucking marketer. I'm the sales guy. I'm the laborer. I'm all these things. So I had to really hone in and be I'm about it and step up to the plate. And also it's the most money I've just made in general at anything I've ever done, so that's nice. And it's been growing, and it taught me marketing more, how to market myself and my company. And yeah, just responsibility as a whole. The business is something you have to always attend to at the end of the day. Sometimes clients are texting me at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. When I wake up, that's the first thing I got to do is I got to text clients, got to call clients, got to figure out what's going on. Some people book last minute, I have to collect the payment. I have to run through my business account. I have to pay the taxes. I have to pay my guys, make sure everyone's on time, get reliable workers. So all these things taught me the responsibility that I had doing sales, but elevated times 4, times 10 even.
Yeah, new responsibilities because you're playing the role of many different people as the owner. And it's all on you. It comes down to you whether or not you guys have jobs that week, whether or not your team gets paid, if they can feed their families, if they can go and do the things that they want to do. It all falls back on you. You know what I mean? So it's I talk about this a lot of times. A lot of people don't understand how much responsibility really comes with being the main person, being the guy, being the boss, being the CEO, being the president, being the owner, right? Because now you go from shifting from employee where you have a couple responsibilities, a couple roles. Like, this is your designated job. This is, hey, I want you to go, and your job today is to do X, Y, Z, right? But when you're the owner, your job is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, like the whole alphabet, right? And a lot of people don't realize, like, in order, to make more money, to control your own schedule, control your own time, do what it is that you want to do, it comes with a lot more responsibility. It comes with a larger territory of just things that you have to cover. And like I was saying, when you interview me, it's not for everybody, And
it wasn't for me at first. Because when I became a manager, I stepped down after a few months. Like, I had a team for like a whole summer, but motherfuckers weren't performing. Motherfuckers were too concerned about drinking beer and driving around the company car than being on the doors. And I was like, well, I have all this responsibility. Some of my pay of my budget, my housing budget, was getting docked because we had to cover housing budget for Airbnbs. They weren't making the deals, and so it's stressful. And then Blake was like my right hand man, so he'd help with morale. But you can only push people so much, of course. Yep. So Blake and I was like, let's just step down, bro. Like, let's go work for the badass Chris Nunez, who I still talk to this day. He's selling solar, making tons of money. Like, so let's go work for him. Let's have a power team. Let's have killers. Everybody can go out and get 5 deals a day. Let's do that. We'll have the best houses. We know we're going to sell. Like, we're all going to go work out, and we can have a great time. So we stepped down. All these guys left early, too. They were supposed to stay. All the guys who were here in Roanoke, most of them left early, except Blake's the only guy who stuck around. Blake's the only guy out of 10 people I brought out there who stuck around and was selling. And Blake left at first. He left for 3 months, and then I convinced him to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was struggling at first, I remember.
And then he went hard as fuck. Because he saw, like, the potential, and we had a good team of guys. But I stepped down from leadership, bro. I stepped down for responsibility. But then when I started my own thing, I am in control of how it runs, how it operates, what I tolerate, what I don't. Like, who I have. Like, it's hard to find reliable work. You guys have all helped me, and you guys have all been great. But how many times have people bailed when I have a team that has to go out by themselves?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now I run it more tight-knit with the guys I actually rely on and trust and know will get the job done. And it's not for everybody because it wasn't for me at first. But now I thrive in it, and I love it. And it's for me. It's my company. And I can make sure that my guys got food on their table and their kids are good, stuff like that. And if we want to go to fucking California for 2 weeks, I can pay for it. You know what I'm saying? When Terrell and I went to California for the Air Act thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's rewarding, and I can show everybody a different, like, people from Roanoke, like, what it's like to go do something else. Like, Terrell got to go to be in an Air Act video with me.
Yep.
Steven got to go to the fucking Jake Paul fight, Ben Askren fight with me, meet Snoop Dogg and all these people.
Got on the PJ for that one client.
Got on the PJ, you know what I'm saying?
This one client flew them in a private jet to where he was at to move his stuff up here. Like, that's crazy. So, like, even... And
I talked to him, he gives me work every week. I'll come pick up his trash for fucking 10 minutes. He'll give me $300.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, another thing people don't realize, like, your business, not only, like, it's like a labor type of position, and you're moving other people's stuff, but there's a demand for that. Like, some people are either lazy or they aren't fit. They can't move. They're not physically capable, or they just don't have the people around them, the support for someone to help them move stuff. Or you got the flip side of that. You got people that are way too busy to move their stuff on their own. They rather just pay someone to do this. So, like, one, there's a huge demand for what it is that you do. Like you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of other companies. I noticed you didn't name that company. And
they actually are out of business now.
They are out of business.
The business that taught me moving is out of business.
So and
it's only been 3 years.
So you saw, and it's funny, like, earlier I was setting that up because I knew you were going to go there, how some people take something and make it better and make it work better for them, for their people, and it's better for the customer.
And the best workers in that fucking company have built their own.
They got their own too.
Just like Bryant, me, Kuzan's doing something different, making more money, traveling. Everybody who actually put the fucking effort in did something better.
Wow.
Everyone else, who knows?
That's crazy. But and then the last thing, like, there's networking type of opportunities for what you do, because you never know who it is that you're going to move. You never know who sees your ads.
Frank Reach, the fucking NFL Colts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
He was the fucking coach when I moved him 2 years ago, but he's not anymore. But, like, still, like, I moved him twice in fucking Smith Mountain Lake.
Yep.
Dave knows everybody. He knows all the people, and he helped the Steelers out and shit. Like, you never know who you're gonna meet, man.
Yep.
Especially you do good work ethic. Bring some good work to him.
And that's the one thing that I can say, guys like me and you, like that's always going to follow us.
Yeah.
No matter what it is that we do, no matter what industry we're in, what business we're involved, what business we start, I know for a fact, for you and for myself, and I'm sure you can say the same thing, that no matter what it is that we've done, we've always been like the top performers. We've been the top go-getters. We've been the guys that are going to work the hardest, even when it wasn't as rewarding for us. Even like with me and you, like the times I've helped you out with jobs, like it wasn't so like you needed me to help you. I'm going to show up and give you my all while I'm there, and it doesn't have to be like, well, since I did this, like, you know, you should be paying me more. Like, it's never like that. Like we're just going to come in and work, even if it's not going to like super like benefit us. Like, we're just going to put in that work, right? And that will follow you everywhere, because then you develop their reputation that, hey, this guy is a hard worker. This guy's a go-getter. He's a producer. He shows up, and I know I'm going to get the best out of him. So no matter, like you talk about with Dave, like you just said, you did that one big job for him, and now you got a lot of other small jobs that he could just call somebody else call somebody up, probably pay them less.
Sometimes he can just take it to the curb,
or
and
he can do it
the fucking and the fucking city will pick it up, the county will pick it up, but he's like, I want them.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Cody because because you impressed him, right? And now he's like that. You're the guy that he's going to call whenever he needs something done like that, and he's willing to pay you for your time, willing to pay you more just for you to be the one that
got jobs from them out of it.
Yep.
Too.
Yep. So even like just no matter what type of business that you're in, there's always the opportunity to network and expand your business, expand your reach, and also create opportunities for your people, like you're talking about your brother.
Exactly.
Right. So last two questions. I know I think we're coming up on like an hour or so. So another 2-part question. What would you talked about like managing people and being like the guy, being the business owner wasn't for you at first. So like for people out there that are kind of transitioning into those roles from employee to business owner, from clocking in to working on their own time as an entrepreneur, like what type of advice would you give them for like just if they're trying to make those shifts, if they're making that transition, if they're struggling with managing people or having to, create the infrastructure, like, and they're thinking about like giving up, not doing it, like, I'm just going to go back and do this. Like, what type of like advice can you give those people that are transitioning from worker to boss?
You don't have to know how it's going to work out completely. You have to have a vision. You have to believe in what you're doing. It's going to be stressful, and you may not even get paid for a little bit. I got lucky, but then again, like some of my first client that started the whole moving thing, I was helping them out for fucking $15 an hour, like for fucking months, so like I was not getting paid a lot at all, but then that ended up being a client. So you got to be willing to work for a long time and not get paid. Shit, Andy Frisella in First Form, bro, that dude didn't get paid for over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to actually want it, and you have to be willing to put your all and have structure and discipline behind it. Like, you can't just half-ass it. I'm going to do it sometimes. I'm going to do it not. Like, today I don't feel like it. Like, there's going to be a lot of days where you don't want to do it, where you have to fucking show up, or your business is not going to go forward. Actually, it might go backwards. So you have to be willing to do that and put your money where your mouth is at the end of the day. A lot of people want to be an entrepreneur because it's cool. I never even considered myself an entrepreneur. I just want to do shit different that makes me money, that's not according to conformist and like the normal shit that goes on in the world, because it's not fucking sustainable anymore. Like, unless you were a fucking doctor, lawyer, even that's just not even sustainable anymore half the time. So I just have a good fucking work ethic. I'm disciplined, and I want to make some fucking money, and I want to help people out. So that's why it's easy for me to manage stress. But you have to know that there's going to be a lot of fucking stress. There's going to be a lot of nights where you go to bed fucking late. Like, I'll show up from some jobs. Like, one day, Terrell and I worked from 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. the next day. I slept for maybe 4 hours, got up, and did another 4 jobs. But it propelled the business. It put a lot of money in my pocket, a lot of money in his pocket, and that's a part of the vision. So you have to make sure you know why you're getting into it, and it will be rewarding if you stick to it, but you have to be kind of like strategic about it at the same time. You don't have to know how it all is going to work out, of course, at the beginning, but you have to have some sort of approach. Like me, like I literally started Facebook page, started running ads. I have to make this shit happen. Bam. That was kind of my plan. So you have to like really know and like believe and be confident and manage stress
and be committed.
Committed.
Sounds like
100%.
Yep. So last question I have for you, Cody. Just let the audience, let the watchers, the viewers know, how old are you right now?
26.
And when's your birthday?
May 16th.
Obviously, coming up on 27.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my last question is, and this is kind of like a two-part question. Where do you see yourself in the next 3 years by the time you turn 30?
30.
And where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? And like, what is next for you? Like, what's kind of based off where you see yourself in the next 3 years, how do you feel like you're going to get there?
So right now, my goal is by 35 to be a millionaire. But obviously, if I can do it by 30, that's definitely the goal, especially with how fast shit's going in the world. Like, I want to make sure I'm set up as much as possible before shit hits the fan or whatever. But with how it's going right now, the next thing and where I see myself by 30 is obviously more financially free than I am now. Preferably making money from my brand, because anyone who really knows me knows that the moving company is like a funnel for everything else I do. So it just funnels money in so I can put it towards various layers and all these things. I think this podcast, if we keep it up, can really go somewhere, like 100%. Like, I want to be doing something to where we are known. We are the people they pay because it's us. You know, they pay me because it's me, not because of the service I offer. And I think expanding online and actually really focusing on that brand development is going to really be what does that, especially since AI is going to take so many jobs. AI can't be you. AI can't be me, but it can do fucking editing. It can do fucking moving, maybe eventually. You know, like, it can do everything.
Oh no, they got stuff like that. AI is making whole ass scripts, producing movies like right now. Like, there was something that came out about it like a couple weeks ago. Because Tyler Perry was like making a new movie, and then he was like, "Oh wait, I'm going to use this AI. I think it's like called Sora or something like that." He was like, "Oh, this is impressive. Like, I might just scrap this whole thing and let that make the movie for me."
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
But like even McDonald's workers and shit, like,
oh yeah,
it's taking jobs. So I want to have a job by being me that it can't take. Obviously, I'm gonna keep doing moving, and I'm not gonna like not have this. Like, I'll help people if they want to work. I'll pay them good. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see myself doing moving forever because I want to take care of my body and make sure I'm good and stuff like that. So brand development by 30. Liquid. I want like 500K liquid by 30. I can do that. I think I can definitely do that.
You can definitely do that.
Yeah.
I know you can do it.
But $1 million, I want to be a millionaire. So like 1,500,000 liquid by 35.
I think you'll get there a lot faster.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna have to, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
100,000 is the new poor.
Exactly.
Like, we're multiple six-figure earners, and like, 5-6 years ago, that could be something we would probably have been bragging about. We don't even like talk about how much money we make, But like, it's hard to. It's even hard to do it because we do really well for ourselves, but you and I both know, like, it's still not even enough.
Exactly.
Like, the world is moving so fast, inflation is moving so fast, things are getting expensive so fast. Like we have to move faster.
Exactly.
We have to hustle harder.
And I think having
24/7, 365.
And I think having a brand presence, and Ty Lopez talks about this now a lot. He's like, brand you, so no matter what you do, people trust you and they're willing to give you their money. We live in an
attention economy. Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to be necessarily famous like I used to be. I want to be able to make money from what I like to do.
Yeah.
Fitness, fucking music, which I do make money on that stuff through TikTok and streaming and stuff, but I want to make it like be able to make more than this and make me financially free in a few years with however the inflation and shit is then.
Yeah. You think about some of the richest people in this country that are United citizens, and I'm sure the same could be said for people in other countries. Let's just take like 50 Cent, for example. 50 Cent got his start in music. Well, he's doing other things first, but got his, blew up off of music, gained power, influence, brand recognition, and then he got into clothes, right? He had his own clothing line. Then he got into water. He had a video game. He got into, sold the vitamin water for, I think it was like 500 million. Sold that company for a lot. And then he's released books. Now he's a movie producer, So like, you see a lot of people like they get good at one thing and they build up their brand around that, and then no matter what they do after that, they can be successful with.
Look at Jake.
Look at the Paul brothers. Look at the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a prime example, right? Not super
she was
talented
known. She became a billionaire from her fucking makeup.
Yeah, just from and. Look, I'm not going to take anything away from, I don't know if it was Kylie or the other sister. Not going to take anything away from them because you still, like, with being the person that runs your business, that you got to have your vision. You got to be able to put things together. You got to know how to connect people to help put your vision out there. So I'm not taking anything away. But, like, Kardashian, that brand, they can put Kardashian on anything and it's going to blow up.
Exactly.
It's going to sell, right? So.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yep.
I'm trying to have attention. People support me, a nice community. It can be 10,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like fucking Mr. Organic talks about. He's like, yeah, man, like you don't have to have 1 million followers. Like I'd rather have 10,000 when 1,000 buys all my shit.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm trying to just build a community, and that's why I started making my TikTok more fitness shit, and my views are finally starting to pick back up in the thousands.
Yeah.
Key of the day, various layers with the Z. If you guys don't know.
Yeah, you built a huge faceless channel, but yeah, that's a huge opportunity there to like really get people to know who you are and then shift.
Now I'm showing my face.
Yeah.
Now I'm putting my runs are getting like 4,000 views.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm trying to build a community of people who fuck with what I fuck with, what I do, what the fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Podcast, TikTok, fitness, music, all these things. So then I can actually put my money into things that I actually believe in, whether it's a water company or something, like just as an example, and that can be businessy for me, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got one, I know I said last question, but one very, very last question, because you touched on it, and I think this would be something that you can provide a lot of value to. What is your advice to people like younger than us, right? Or really anybody, any age? You're seeing what's happening in the real world. Like, I want to get real world with you real quick. Oh, we're losing one camera. So that's definitely going to be the last one. All right. So talking about the real world, talking about AI, job replacement, people like, AI running, robots running fast food places, making music, making entertainment, right? They got people they can take someone's voice and create a whole song out of it.
The Drake AI.
Like, dude, what? So.
Shit's hardcore too. They be going hard. They gotta be rapping.
In your opinion and your best advice, what can you tell everybody out there that watches this podcast or watches this clip? Like, what would be your best advice on what they can do right now to make sure that they are still able to take care of themselves, that they can still make money while all of this stuff is happening around us, where there's going to be even less opportunity, less jobs, less potential for income. We talked about universal basic income on the last interview. What's your advice to people? What do they need to be doing to make sure that they're still going to be valuable to the marketplace?
Well, the best thing they can do is just become the best version of themselves. So I think you need to be fit. Like, you really need to be in shape because your mind operates way faster. You're sharper. You can take care of the people around you. If shit does hit the fan, then you're of use and stuff like that. But also, like, not only that, like, that's a part of becoming better. So if you can work on the things, your demons inside of yourself, your fitness, and make yourself as good as possible, whatever you see that you want to do, you can give a better version of yourself to that. You may be able to spot things better because you're more clear-headed, more clear-minded. You operate at a faster pace. But that's just like the base level. But once that's taken care of, I think like on figuring out AI, or I'm not even an AI or anything, but I feel like figuring out AI and being online to some extent with a brand is probably like going to be a really good way. Like, tell your story and who you are. You might inspire some people. If you want to make money, I mean, fuck, man, like, what are you good at? Go talk to like 5 people, see what you're really good at, and see if you can build some sort of business around it or something. I'm still trying to figure out the best move because I'm tangible right now. My business is tangible, so I'm kind of at, if AI goes as fast as it is, like, I need to pivot at some point soon. So,
do you see robots replacing laborers?
Not as soon, not in moving as soon as everything else, but I mean, eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, assembly lines and fucking factories and shit are being taken. But I think the best thing to do is just become your best version of yourself, because then you can figure out things better. Like, if you are your best you can offer the world, then the world's going to be able to offer you better stuff back.
Yeah.
So I think that's essentially the best thing. But yeah.
And I agree with that. I think that's a really good answer, because at the end of the day, health is wealth. And if you're not healthy and physically and mentally, then you're very limited to what you can do, to what you can offer, what type of value you can provide. So everything does start with health at the end of the day. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? So I think that's a solid answer. My follow-up answer to that would be, like Cody was saying, learn a skill or get really good at a skill that can provide value to the marketplace. If you are someone that's into tech and computers, learn AI and get with the trend and see how you can provide value there, right? Developing AI, maybe controlling and operating within AI. I'm not in AI either, so but learn a skill and get really good at it, and follow the trends, get ahead of what's happening in society, what's happening in the world. Try to find a way to provide value. A lot of people are just throwing their hands up in the air and saying whatever and just letting it go, when, hey, sometimes you got to shift and you got to pivot and learn something new and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, so you can continue to provide for yourself and provide for your family, and make sure that you guys are living the life that you want to live. So yeah, go ahead.
I want to touch on that too. The ultimate thing I'd say now, after you said all that, provide value to yourself. And after that, therefore, you provide value to the world and as many people as you can. If you provide value to people, there's always going to be a way to make shit happen.
Yep.
So provide value to yourself first by becoming as good as you can every day. Obviously, sometimes you don't, sometimes you do, but as long as you try to keep it going forward, that's all that matters. And then provide value to as many people as possible. And then at the end of the day, things will work out. Have faith. Like, for real, have faith.
Yep. And you heard it from the man himself, Cody, aka Various Layers, also known as David Goggins Jr.
Let's go.
within some circles. But that was good, man. I love the answers, and I love, like, you opened up a bit, gave your backstory. Like I said, I didn't know you played piano.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that bus ride was 56 hours. I didn't know you were showering in the sink.
It was bad, man. It was bad.
So
it was good.
Even stuff like this, like me and Cody, we've been best friends for years. I mean, we can't even remember the year that we first became friends, but like I said, I'm glad that we did, because there's just so much to learn on a deeper level about us individually, business, health, personal, mental, all that. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that was dope. You got anything else you want to, a last soundbite? Anything you want to drop?
Just have faith, guys. Like, things always work through faith. Faith has got me to where I am, as fitness and faith, but you always got to have faith. Take risk, have faith, and just believe. Belief is everything at the end of the day. What you believe is your perception. What your perception is your perspective, and what your perspective is your reality. So have faith and believe.
Yep. A wise man once said, "My unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability," I fucked it up, makes him a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. This has been another episode of Hustle House 24/7, 365. I am Lamar, aka Mr. Cream Cap.
And I'm Cody, Various Layers. Peace out.
See you guys next time.